Hello and welcome to the Common Legend. My name is Sean, and our legend this week is Storm Hart. Say hello, Storm.
Hello.
A good friend of mine. Storm Hart, one of the most badass names I think I've ever heard in my entire fucking life.
Thank you. I gave it to myself.
I know, and we'll get into that a little bit. So how you feeling today? How's your day going?
I'm alive. Didn't do a whole lot. Got some breakfast. Watched Dune.
Which one? The first one?
Second one.
Okay.
I started watching them last night and then finished watching them today.
For the first time?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like, what, 30 seconds of the podcast? We're going to be starting to talk about Timothée Chalamet?
Did you know that there's a Dune bundle?
Oh, shut up. Okay. Well, so what'd you think of the movies? Were they good?
They're pretty lit.
I mean, the first one was good. Yeah, they're long. They're kind of like Lord of the Rings-esque long.
But I kind of fuck with that.
Yeah, you do?
So,
Yeah. Just sit down.
I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. If I can just lock in, then I'm good.
Yeah.
You know? I locked in on Dune.
Hey, that's not a bad Friday, Saturday night.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here on this Sunday. Talk a
for
little
having
bit. So where are you from, Storm?
I'm from South Minneapolis.
South side?
South side of the outside.
And actually, you went to South High, didn't you?
I did go to South High.
My older sister went there.
Hell
So did
yeah.
Sean from Atmosphere, Brother Ali, Prof, right?
Josh Hartnett.
Josh Hartnett.
Rachel Lee Cook.
I'm saying the amount of talent that has come out of South is fucking immensible.
All the cool people go to South.
All the cool people go to South. South side is the best side. Unfortunately, I live over North now.
Hey, it's not too bad over here.
It's all right.
I've spent a decent amount of time north
It's
side.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm not a North Sider.
No,
So,
that happens.
born and raised South. Got any family? Oh,
I'm not born and raised South.
where were you born and raised?
Born St. Paul, I think.
Oh,
Lived in Woodbury till I was 13.
right.
Then moved to South.
Okay. When did you move to South? What year?
2012.
Okay, it's been over a decade. You're a South Sider.
Yeah.
All right, we
No,
can let it slide.
It's been almost half of my life now, so
Yeah.
I would consider myself from South Minneapolis. I became a person there. You know?
Oh my God, me too. Yeah.
Because when you're a kid, you're not really you're like a person, but you're not like a person.
No.
You know, you're not fully realized.
Yeah.
But I've become fully realized as a person in South.
So when you say when you're a kid, so how old are you then?
25.
25. You're still a kid.
Kind of.
Still cute. No, I get you though.
Yeah.
Like when you turn 25, that's the next phase of your life, at least for me.
My brain stopped developing.
Allegedly. I don't know if I believe that statistic.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I think our brains are kind of always developing. Yeah. So do you have any family here locally still?
Yeah, my parents.
Parents, mom,
yeah.
dad,
Mom,
brothers, sisters.
Stepdad, both live in South Minneapolis.
Okay.
Yeah, then the rest of my siblings are scattered.
How many siblings do you have?
3.
3.
Yeah.
So where do you fall on the spectrum? Older, younger?
So I've a sister and 2 stepsisters. My older sister and older stepsister are the same age.
Okay.
And then me and my other stepsister are the same age.
Okay, so there's no middle child.
No.
I've never.
So technically, I'm like the third
Right.
but only by 2 months.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of split.
It's perfectly
split.
Like my mom and my stepdad are also born the same year. So they're the same
Okay.
age.
Fine.
So we're
That's
all
funny.
the same age.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And so you don't live with your parents. Obviously, you live by yourself or with
with
some
a
roommates.
roommate.
Okay. Here in the city still.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm uptown now.
Great. So I know you weren't born Storm Hart, right?
No.
No, I don't want to mention your government name unless you want to say it. If you want to say your government name, you can.
My
but
government name is Geneva.
Geneva Hart.
Geneva Hart.
And you decided to change it to Storm Hart, which, can I mention, is one of the most badass names that I think I've ever heard.
Thank you.
So why did you decide, or when and why did you decide to make that change?
So I think I changed it in 2021, I want to say. I had been identifying as non-binary for a while at that point, maybe 4 years. And the name was just feeling a little too feminine for me because it is a very feminine name.
Geneva, yeah.
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 And it just didn't feel quite right. And I do love that name, and that name is very much a part of me and who I am, especially because it's such a unique name. But it just wasn't me anymore. You know, it'd always be a part of me, but it's just not who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was part of reclaiming your identity
Yeah.
when you decided to identify as non-binary. Okay, before we get into that, before we get into your sexuality and your identification, you're a fucking nerd, right?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
I thought, like, that's
Yeah,
why we
man.
that's why we clicked. Okay.
Yes.
Is you're a fucking nerdy person, right?
Very much so.
One of those things that I know about you personally is your fascination, obsession, almost addiction with K-pop. Yeah, we're going. What? Oh, is that Mingi? She's okay. Not a sponsor. Not a sponsor, by the way.
Song Mingi, I love you.
Have you been a nerd your whole life, or when did you come into your nerd or your dom? When did you become a nerd dom?
Nerddom. I think I've been a nerd my whole life.
Yeah.
Like I have like nerdy parents and was like raised on like Harry Potter and Star Wars and stuff like that. So it's just always been something I have been into.
Yeah.
You know.
And in your older years, it seems like it's been transitioning more into like K-pop, Comic-Con, anime, and manga.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so like, what are some of your favorite fucking animes and mangas right now?
Right now for manga, I'm reading this one called Kagurabachi. I've been trying to put more people onto it. It's sick as fuck. It's about this kid. Dad dies.
Oh, okay.
Gotta get revenge.
I already love that. Like, hit me with the traumatic shit.
There's cool swords.
Okay.
It's super cool. It's super cool. It's,
all right.
It's a newer one. Not a lot of people I know are reading it, but I want more people to read it because it's really good.
Yeah. So you're one of the actual nerds. One of
Yeah.
the real nerds. One of the ones that have like animes tattooed on their arms. Okay. Yeah, like us. Yeah.
There's another one you can't see. It's on my ankle.
What do you do for a living right now?
Oh man, I'm a video game tester.
Video game tester? Like
That's
Grandma's Boy.
crazy.
We're talking like Grandma's Boy? You've never seen Grandma's Boy?
No.
Are you fucking shitting me right now? I want to turn this podcast off and sit down and watch Grandma's Boy with you. Okay. Have you ever seen what is it, Mythic Quest on Apple?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You get an asterisk on this one. I'm not gonna let it go the fact that you have not watched Grandma's Boy though.
Hey man, life happens.
Well, that's just currently, right? You used to be a camp counselor.
Counselor in training.
Sorry, counselor in training.
Look at my LinkedIn.
I do research on my guests. I do research. Okay.
You said I know where you've been.
I do research. So you were a camp counselor. When were you a camp counselor?
2013 and 2014.
So you were in training, but never actually became full-fledged.
No, because then I became a lifeguard.
Okay.
So I did that instead of being a
So you
camp
dipped out.
counselor.
So in training as a counselor, what does that mean? You just get high when all the kids go to sleep with the actual counselors? Or like,
No, well, it was only a day camp too.
Yeah.
But it was like a program where it's like, because you're not like technically old enough to like work kind of
watch
at that
kids,
point.
yeah.
So we like just kind of assisted. Like we would, your first year, you get assigned to a specific specialty because the camp had specialty areas. So you would get assigned to a specialty, and then you would like help out the specialist counselor with the activities there. And then your second year of being a CIT, you would be assigned with a group of kids, and you would help out the counselors.
so it was like an unpaid internship.
We got paid.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, not
Okay.
a lot, but we got paid.
So why did you decide not to keep going with that?
Because I became a lifeguard. And that's something I could do like year round too. And I think it probably paid better than being a camp counselor. So.
Okay.
I come from a family of like lifeguards and swimmers, so
Oh, you're just
made sense to
holding
do.
the torch, keeping
Yep,
it going.
Yep.
Yeah. And how long were you a lifeguard for then?
Like 5 years.
5 years. Wow. Okay. Give me your like most horrific lifeguard story.
I don't really think I have that many bad ones.
No?
I had nothing ever like too serious happen.
Okay.
Well, I have lifeguard. I think like someone had a seizure once, but I didn't. Another lifeguard took care of it. I just had to watch the pool.
All right.
But yeah, I've
So it
saved,
wasn't too bad.
saved plenty of drowning people.
All right.
Nothing ever too crazy.
And then I know you went on to become a graduate from the Aveda Institutes.
Yes, I did.
So was that after lifeguarding?
During.
During. Okay.
During, yeah. Because I was a lifeguard when I became 16, and then up until I was like 21, basically up until like the pandemic hit. And then I went to school 2017 to 2018. Yeah. So.
Okay. And were you going for like cosmetology or more like hair or makeup, or what was your focus?
I went to cosmetology, so that covers
Everything.
Okay. Hair, skin, waxing, makeup, nails, all of that was covered under cosmetology.
Okay. But you never pursued that.
I did briefly.
Okay.
So I finished school. I didn't do all of my state boards. I did my practical state boards, not my written ones, just because I was like burnt out, just wasn't really feeling it. But then later on, I think this was maybe 2021, I was interviewing with Sephora for a job because they were starting to hire licensed beauty advisors. I think I was just trying to be a beauty advisor, but they were like, oh, you're so close to getting your license. If you like just finish getting your license, we can hire you on as a licensed beauty advisor. So I took my written state boards, passed those, got my cosmetology license, and then worked at Sephora.
Okay.
And hated it. Absolutely hated it.
What was the worst part about working at Sephora?
Retail.
Yeah,
just like
retail.
people.
Fuck retail.
Yeah, fuck retail. Because it was like, I wanted to like be there to be able to do makeup, but we still weren't allowed to yet because of like mask mandates, just like company-wide like COVID mandates and stuff like that. So I just couldn't do what I actually wanted to do. And so I was just working retail, and like I didn't
go to school to work for retail.
Yeah, no, fuck that. And I just like it didn't feel like a good fit for me. Like there was no like flexibility with scheduling really. And like there was no understanding of like chronic pain and stuff like that. Because I've had chronic migraines since I was like 8. So that like can really affect my day to day and like going to work. And they just like, well, you got to get your shift covered. And
oh my God, like isn't that the worst?
Yeah.
That's the best part about working in like the corporate scene we're in, like where it's like, I don't feel good. They're like, okay, see you next time. Like,
yeah, I'll be like, I'll be in.
Yeah, I'll be in
like
sometime.
Tomorrow, probably.
Like, all right, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah. You got PTO? All right.
So do you think your career path kind of, because of COVID shifted? Is that not because of the mask mandates and like your retail experience? What do you think shifted you out of what you originally were so passionate about?
I think it was just like the burnout and like maybe realizing like I didn't want to interact with people and like just like exhaust myself and like my body like that every day. So then I just didn't really know what I wanted to do for a while. I like canvassed for a bit after that.
Politically?
Yes.
All right, we'll get into your activism a little bit later.
It does have to do with that, actually.
We'll talk about your activism.
And then the canvassing job was only temporary.
Okay.
Because by the time it gets cold, you know.
I know,
like,
yeah.
So then I was just looking on Indeed one day during my canvassing job, and I was like, dang. Video game job?
You saw it on Indeed?
Yeah.
That's where you saw it?
Yeah. And I was like, turned to my friend, I was like, should I apply?
Shit, I could make money playing video games?
Yeah, like, they're like, go for it. And I was like, okay.
And they brought you in? And what year was that then? 2022?
This was 2021.
21, okay.
Yeah, like the end of 2021.
Okay, so you've been a video game tester for a little over 3 years, almost 4 now? Okay.
Yeah. Like
so you like video games?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
What's your favorite video game right now? Other than Toontown.
Oh, other than Toontown. Everyone played Toontown.
Or I know that did you see the new Carmen Sandiego game?
No. Huge,
on the Switch, it's
actually,
coming out.
Huge.
Yeah. So what's your favorite video game currently?
Currently, I've been playing all the Cyberpunk 2077.
Okay, even with all the bugs and stuff, or they fix it? Or
so good now. So good. I didn't actually have too many issues when it first came out. I was one of the fortunate ones where I like didn't run into like game breaking things or crashes or anything. But I do think so. Then after like the DLC, they like completely revamped the entire game, and I was fine with the game before. So much better now.
Yeah.
It's like so insanely good now. Like they cooked on it, and I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. This is great. I love it.
So you got into video game development because you love it.
Yeah, I already loved video games. So I was like, this is very up my alley. So.
But you didn't go to school for it, like cosmetology and stuff. So Why not? Because cosmetology was probably also a passion, right?
Yeah, it was, what was a passion to me at the time, and I like thought I could do it long term, and school was only a year long, and so I like didn't feel like I could go through like a 4-year program. Just didn't have like the motivation or anything. So
do you like being a video game tester?
I love it.
You do?
I love it.
I fucking hate it.
I
It's too easy. It's too fucking easy.
I make it hard for myself.
I know. Okay, I know. I've noticed, and you do
know
excel.
I know.
You do
I make it hard
excel.
on
You do
myself.
excel. So, how do you feel about? Okay, this I might cut this whole part. just a heads up. This I want to talk to you real quick. How do you feel about ever since Johnny's leaving from the company? They put that APL position on public job boards, Indeed, LinkedIn, before and hiring internally.
That shit's crazy.
That's fucking wild,
Who are they
right?
gonna hire out of the fucking?
It's like what? There's no career growth. Essentially, is what
Yeah.
they're telling us. It's like no, there's no progression. We'd rather find someone else.
Oh, you're telling me
Fucking A.
I've been waiting for a promotion for like 2 years. Constantly, Storm, you should be promoted. Nothing happens. Nothing happens.
I realized that too when last year I outperformed everyone substantially,
Yeah.
like over 50%. And then I was like, oh, you get like an extra 5% on your bonus.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. So this year I've been just hitting minimums
Yeah.
and watching. I'm cutting this. I'm watching movies and YouTube and Tubi at work all day because like I hit my minimum. I can like literally fulfill my quota by noon on Monday.
Yeah. No, I got to a point like on like Pandia where I was like hitting 70 bugs at least a month, usually 75. So I was like outperforming the entire team, and I was also taking on like so many tasks. Like I was the primary XP4 tester. I did like every single task for that. I was like leading the squad often. I literally made documentation that the producers ended up using because they didn't give us good documentation. So
I can confirm
made
that.
the documentation.
I can confirm that.
So just all of this, and I've like got trusted to go into producer meetings, and I went to a shareholder meeting once, and still just
Is that not like
nothing.
so disheartening?
It is. It's very disheartening. But I like love this job, and it's sustainable for me.
It's sustainable.
That is like one of the biggest things.
And we don't have to talk to customers.
And we don't-
We don't like I know people hate our game, but like
Yeah.
we don't have to talk to them.
Also, my new squad is super interesting.
Is it?
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's not.
Yeah,
Boring.
you're- 'cause
God,
you're
I wish
just
I
on,
went
like,
back. I want to go back.
well, because we do like super specialized testing on my team.
Right. Yeah.
So-
More localization or
No, so the studio that I'm on upstream for, they are in charge of like PC ports, and also specific features. They're in charge of like KBM in the game, and they're in charge of certain game modes. So
You have really specific testing then. Like
Yes.
do this. I like that
we
direction.
have like a ton of QARs.
yeah.
And we do things called RRCs. Every time a new TU comes out, we do a release readiness check. We mainly go through every PC platform that the game's on and check a bunch of like functionality things, go through like telemetry testing, make sure Sentry crashes are uploading correctly, stuff like that.
And TU updates are TU's title update.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So do you see this being your lifelong career?
I think it could be like not necessarily like QA forever, but like I could see myself working in video games
For sure.
forever. Like I enjoy it a lot, and
Yeah.
I like it a lot. So
But you still like you express yourself with your cosmetology with your friends and yourself.
yes.
Yeah, you very much still have a passion for that.
Yes. I'll always love like having fun hair and like doing fun makeup and stuff like that. It's just like wasn't a career choice for me
Right.
anymore, but that's fine. I'm
Yeah.
happier that way. So
Oh yeah, I mean, and happiness is all that matters.
yeah,
For sure.
truly,
For sure.
truly in this day and age.
Okay. Hold on a quick second.
All
Just
good.
make sure that's going. Okay, Storm. We've known each other for a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
And it only took me like a couple weeks to find out that you identify as non-binary,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Gender's a lie.
Gender's a lie. So what is non-binary? What does that even mean?
So being non-binary is you do not identify with the typical gender binary that the world thinks of man and woman. 'Cause it's a spectrum, and being non-binary is you fall somewhere on that spectrum in between. So you are neither male or female, man or woman. You are just somewhere in the middle, just hanging out.
So what are the differences then? So is non-binary a gender identity?
Yes.
So what are the differences then between like gender identity, gender expression, and gender orientation?
Gender orientation. I feel like orientation and identity are kind of the same thing.
Okay.
In my opinion. Like identity versus expression. It's identity is how you feel, and expression is more just like how you want to present yourself. So I am like feel very in the middle of like man and woman, but I tend to express myself very femininely just because I think it's pretty. I just think it looks nice.
Yeah.
So,
oh, no, I can understand that. Well, I guess like you brought up, I think gender orientation is more like where you actually physically sexually align.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So do you date girls or boys or both, or?
If you exist and I like you. That's
If you exist and I like you, thumbs up. I love that.
That's called pansexuality, my friend.
So who are some of your celebrity crushes right now? Just to give people some perspective on like, you know, what it means to be non-binary, but what you like.
Do I know celebrities? Song Mingi.
Mingi. Okay. Who's Mingi?
He's like a kind of a celebrity. He's a celebrity in the world of K-pop.
He's kind of a celebrity? Okay.
Mingi, Chan. Yeah, those are my biases.
Your biases are mostly K-pop. So you like Asian?
I don't consider.
You like Asian non-gender conforming presenting individuals?
So a really fun thing about K-pop is that like they do tend to present very androgynously, and I think that's part of why I'm so like attracted to it, because I'm like, yes,
yeah,
ambiguity.
Exactly.
I enjoy this a lot.
Because yeah, like I can understand when you see like some of your biases. I see them, and I'm like, oh, I'm attracted to them because they're a man and a woman for two different reasons. What is going on? Yeah.
Exactly.
So how old were you when you started to feel like, okay, hold on. So how old were you when it started to feel like you didn't fit into either gender norms?
So I like kind of actually started thinking about it when I was like 16, 17, but like reflecting back on my life, it's been like a forever thing. Like I like never really enjoyed dressing in like typically like very girly clothes as a kid. Like I remember distinctly that I hated this like dress and like skirt that my mom got me that was pink and had cats on it. I was just like, God, I don't want to look like a girl. And I would like, the swimsuits I got were like board shorts, and like, so I just like never felt like, you know, a typical little girl.
Yeah.
In a way.
But then you said in like your later teen years, like you started to be more aware of it.
Yeah. Like I actually like learned more about like gender identity and stuff like that, and was more of a person than I was as a kid.
Totally.
And like could have a lot more of those introspective thoughts with myself, and I had like a lot of friends who were non-binary, and I was like, I think that's kind of where I'm landing. So
was there a moment or incident in those later teen years that specifically you were like, yep, did something happen? Or
I think it was just more gradual. Like I was just thinking about it a lot, and like got to a point where it's just like, yeah, I think this is how I be.
This is me.
This is me.
So when did you decide to publicly announce or come out of the closet, so to say?
So I was pretty socially out, like as soon as I kind of figured it out in high school. I don't think I necessarily told my parents yet. But like to all of my friends and everyone at school, I was like, yeah, I'm not girl, use they them for me, please. And then I don't remember when I came out to my parents. maybe like a year or two later, something like that.
Do you remember how they reacted when you did come out to them?
I think they were accepting, maybe just a bit confused. Just didn't like have quite an understanding of it necessarily, but like weren't against it.
So
You know?
they didn't like disown you.
No,
Your
no.
parents. So were they more accepting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're just confused.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like, we don't know what this is, but all right. And I think it took a lot of adjusting for them. But and that kind of made things hard for a while. Like, I know I like had gotten into arguments with like my mom about like not referring to me how I wanted to be referred enough and stuff like that. But we have like had conversations since then, and things have gotten a lot better with it. So,
did your coming out or accepting of yourself as non-binary, did that have any effect on you deciding to change your name?
yes, absolutely,
Yeah. Okay.
absolutely. Because if I didn't feel this way, I think I probably would have kept my dead name. But since I do feel this way, it just wasn't fitting.
It's pretty amazing that your parents were like, for the most part, confused is okay.
Yeah.
Not at least they weren't against it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like pretty open, you know, and like I have a queer older sister, and they already. I never like fully came out to them as like pan or anything. They just assumed I was also gay. My sister's bi, so they're like, this one's gotta be too.
This one's you. All right, we know.
I was sort of like having a friend over after school, and it was like a girl, and my mom being like, is this your friend or your like girlfriend? And I'm like, it's just a friend, Mom. But I'm like, I'm glad to know that I just never had to come out to them on that. They're just like, yeah, this one's queer.
Well, that's good. I mean,
Yeah.
like, it could have been so much worse.
Oh, I'm like very fortunate
Yeah.
with my
That's
circumstances surrounding that. Yeah.
How does self-identifying as non-binary affect like your day-to-day life?
I don't think it necessarily affects it a ton. I mean, honestly, obviously, if I'm like interacting with like strangers and stuff like that, I'm like gonna get misgendered until I like correct someone and stuff like that. And that can be not fun. That's also like a shitty part of like retail. It's like people are just coming up to you and being like, "Ma'am," and I'm like, "Shut up,
Bitch. Yeah.
But it doesn't affect my day to day a ton because I feel like I'm like very out in life, and the people around me know that, and like have made an effort to make me feel seen and heard and comfortable. So
Yeah, that's a blessing.
Yes.
But obviously, you surrounded yourself with people who.
Yeah, I have a lot of really wonderful friends.
Yeah.
So.
What's been the most challenging part then? I guess since you found out, so not even since you told people, but since you've realized, like, what's been the hardest part?
I think like maybe just like grappling with like societal expectations of like who I should be, and like sometimes I feel like I like over feminize myself to like make myself attractive to certain people, because I'm like, oh, what if they think it's weird that I'm like in this weird in between and they don't know how to deal with that. And so there's stuff like that, and just being a little overly aware of how I can appear to people.
Yeah.
But I try not
So you're almost like judging yourself
yeah.
because you think people are judging you.
Yeah.
It's weird how that works.
Anxiety.
Yeah.
It's
And,
a
well, and
crazy
also
thing.
just the spiral effect. What do you think the most misunderstood part of being non-binary is for everyone? So anyone who identifies as non-binary, what do you think is generally the most challenging aspect of that?
I think a lot of people just think we're like confused, or that we're like making it up. I feel like I've seen a lot of like discourse about like they just don't know what they want, or they're just like, this is just a trend, you know? But it's like not like that's very invalidating to our existences, because we do exist and we do take space and we are here.
Totally.
And we've been non-binary people have been around forever. Like, this is not a new concept.
Look at the Romans, like, you know, before Pompeii.
Or even in like indigenous people, like Two-Spirit.
Yeah.
That's an identity that has been around for a very long time.
Totally.
So it's just the people who don't think that we should exist, especially, you know, in this America.
Which is wild to me because Prince was wildly successful.
Oh my
and
God,
I'm pretty
yes.
sure that he's the non-binary king queen, right?
Yes, absolutely. Like
Right?
I think Prince like very much paved a way for like dressing however the fuck you
Yeah.
want, like looking however the fuck you want, like just being however the fuck you want.
Being
you know?
attracted to whoever the fuck you
Yeah.
want. Yeah.
Prince the GOAT.
Prince is the
Minnesota
GOAT.
icon.
Right. Yet at the same time, he was also very aligned with Christianity, right?
Yeah. And
So-
I don't, cause like I don't think it's mutually exclusive
At
you
all.
know?
Yeah, I agree.
Like you can have faith and still like be very like open and accepting of people, you know?
He really paved the road though. Yeah.
Absolutely.
When I saw him, I was like, hell yeah, a guy. That's what I wear flowy things, you know,
Yeah,
because of
yeah.
Prince.
Yes.
So like,
Prince, we love you.
so has on that topic, has spirituality or religion been a big part of your life at all?
Not entirely. I like grew up in Christianity and I like grew up in Judaism. But like I've never been a deeply religious person. I don't come from like a super religious family. You just kind of exist. So yeah.
But you collect crystals.
I do.
You're and that's kind of spiritual.
I do like believe because I don't exactly like know what I identify with in terms of spirituality. I think like the most appropriate term at this point would just be like agnostic. Like I think the world is huge and it's very mysterious and there's a lot going on in the universe and something happens. You know, I think there's something out there.
Totally.
But I don't necessarily think it's some like capital G God. Like I think the universe just works in mysterious ways. So
All right.
yeah.
So you believe in something, you just don't believe in
just don't-
anything,
I don't know what I believe in.
but you're open to it.
I'm open to it
Right.
very much so.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna knock at anyone for being religious unless they're
Totally.
using that
Yeah.
religion as a
Um,
reason to be bigoted. So
I completely agree with you.
yeah.
For you personally, what has been the hardest or scariest part for you to identify publicly as non-binary?
I think that I have like felt fortunate enough not to like be super scared. Especially in a state like Minnesota. It's for the most part pretty welcoming, pretty open. But I know when I like travel some more like rural places or more conservative places, I just feel like very uncomfortable just because I know I stand out, especially with how I look too. Like I like generally still feel like I can like go about doing my thing, but it's definitely just with like an extra like eye over my shoulder, you know. Like I went to northern Idaho in December. And it was weird. Didn't like it.
Northern Idaho?
Northern Idaho.
A little conservative or
very conservative.
Okay.
And I felt so out of place.
So for the most part, you're very comfortable in your identity, in the right communities.
Yeah.
And you feel blessed to be in one that's a little more blue than red.
Yes, very much so.
So what has been the hardest or most concerning part for you towards yourself or people you care about with the most recent presidential election?
I'm really worried about everyone. Just like the complete erasure of trans identities and like for like my trans friends and stuff, for them to get access to their like gender affirming care and like is very much at risk, and like that's super scary because I want them to be able to like be happy and like be themselves. And you know, there's the worry of like more shitty people coming and like potentially killing like people like that. Like it's a very real thing. And I think we're more okay up here, but I do have friends like in the South and stuff who identify that way, and I'm worried about them more than anything. It's God, it's terrifying.
Yeah, I get it.
It's terrifying.
Man.
I'm like sitting here like, I've like had to think of like even like kind of maybe safety plans for myself. Like, maybe I'll have to like temporarily go back to being a girl or like going by my original name just so things don't get too crazy. But I'm not at that point yet. I'm gonna try to go down swinging. So,
Well, if you ever get to that point, I have a 0.5 story above us. I will Anne Frank the shit out of you, okay? And you can still be up there and say I'm a they them, and I won't tell no one.
them in that attic.
So what do you think? You know, like this is a pressing topic and issue for people far younger than us.
Yeah.
There are kids coming up right now who don't know what to do or how to act or what they should be okay with. What would be your best or most important piece of advice for children or younger generations coming up who are struggling with their gender identity?
I think the biggest thing is don't be afraid to be yourself. So I think just accepting who you are can make a big difference in your life. Because if you like repress that shit, it's just gonna become a burden on you for a very long time until you like truly figure out who you are. You ever seen the movie I Saw the TV Glow?
Love that movie.
Very good representation of that, of
Yeah.
like a trans person repressing themselves for their entire life and suffering for it. And then also just always, you know, look out for yourself, look out for your safety, find good community. The best thing you can do in life is find community for anything. The people who see you and hear you and support you, they're gonna make or break your life. So
That's really good.
yeah, always seek out good people.
So we're talking, okay, going back to when the TV glows, because I want to fangirl out a little. Say, so you think they're actually under Mr. Moon's control? Oh, because I mean
the ripped open and
and that bathroom scene at the
Yep.
kids, the Chuck E. Cheese or whatever.
Yep.
I want a sequel so fucking bad. I want a whole mini series of that show.
It's so good.
It's so good. Yeah, I didn't even personally realize the
trans
allegory
Yeah.
until you expressed it to me, and then I was
Yeah.
like, oh, it's plain as day.
Yeah.
I mean, as a generally straight-ish man, like
yeah.
it was.
He's always been this girl. That's why there's like those scenes of him in the dress and stuff too, because that's like supposed to be like the you know, those parts where he's like expressing. Well, she is expressing herself. They as like a woman, but then that part just got repressed. So
I think that movie is actually really powerful for anyone struggling with any kind of identity issues.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it resonated with me, with someone who thought they were someone else when they were really not that person.
Yeah.
Regardless, I'm not a trans man. I don't identify as that. But as someone who's always struggled to find their place in this world, I was like, it resonated with me. So.
Yeah. No, I think it's great for any sort of
Good movie.
identity. Just don't repress who you are.
Yeah.
I think that's like the ultimate message of the movie. Is
a lot easier said than done, though.
Yeah, it is. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of effort. But when you like put in the time, it can happen. You can accept yourself and love yourself, and life's better.
Totally.
When you do that.
I think like this boils back to you saying find that community, because that's what'll help you get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that confidence, that reassurance, those people who are like, you can be brave.
Yeah, being seen, being heard is a big help for finding who you truly are.
Totally.
So.
Amen.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for talking about that.
Amen.
I know it's tough, especially in this geopolitical climate.
I'm out here.
Yeah.
They can't get rid of me yet.
Who's they? They, them can't get rid of you?
They, them can't get rid of me. The government can't get me yet.
All right. So who are some of your personal heroes in life? It doesn't have to be famous people, you know, it could be anyone, but who has inspired you and why?
I don't know if I have any like particular person in mind when I think of like my heroes. I think for me, it's just like the people I see in the world who are not afraid to like stand up for what they believe in, and they go out and they fight and make sure that they're seen and heard and push for better for the people around them. I think every instance I see of that is like, this is who I want to be. This is who I'm striving to be.
And
so.
no one person, no one comes to mind at all.
Not particularly.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, well then, celebrity crushes. Like I need some icons.
Mingi.
Song Mingi.
Song Mingi, I love you. Bang Chan, I love
right.
you. I know. I'm so bad at thinking about things like heroes and like role models and stuff like that.
Like it could be creatively, it could be cosmetology wise.
Creatively, Claude Monet, sick artist.
Claude Monet.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Like the Monet.
Yeah.
Like the old dead ass
Yeah,
Monet.
I got a picture of him in my wallet.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
How come you never show me that picture?
I'll show you a picture of
You
Claude
show me all
Monet.
these pictures of like Mingi and shit. Like,
I'll show you the picture of Claude Monet in my wallet.
And Claude Monet, he was kind of crazy, right?
No.
Didn't he? I thought Monet lost his mind.
No, I think you're maybe thinking of Van Gogh.
I know Van Gogh, yeah. Monet didn't?
No, not that I know of.
Well,
Love his art. Great job. Great work.
On that topic of mental health, has mental illness and disease ever affected your life personally?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, quite a bit. Quite a bit. I am extremely anxious always. Have been forever. It's funny, my mom tried to tell me, you didn't have anxiety as a kid, and I just sat there and thought about all the times I would hate going out places, being surrounded by people, because it terrified me. I couldn't go to the Mall of America, because like being higher than the second floor gave me panic attacks. But yeah, I've just been anxious forever and ever and ever.
So anxiety's been the big one.
It's been like the main one. Depression, obviously. Good old borderline.
Oh, yeah?
That's a fun one.
BPD?
Yeah.
Have you been formally diagnosed?
Yes.
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 What's been the hardest part about living with borderline personality disorder?
Just the way your mind works when you interact with other people is so insanely different. Of just like immediately jumping to like the worst possible conclusions about everything because you're so like deeply afraid of abandonment, has got to be like one of the hardest things. And then also like something like splitting, where like you go into this very like all good, all bad, dealing with absolutes mindset. It's exhausting because I don't want to like look at the people I love and just like fucking hate everything about them, but that's just what happens sometimes. That's like a hard thing to control.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's had probably the biggest effect on your interpersonal relationships,
Absolutely.
romantically or otherwise.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Has it made it hard for you, especially in the already fucking shitty and hard position to be non-binary, to find a partner? Has BPD made it difficult for you to find romantic connections?
I don't think necessarily. I think I just don't like people.
Can I get a high five right there? Fuck people.
I have definitely had so many chances to be in romantic relationships and just haven't because I'm like, I don't fucking want to do this right
I don't
now.
like you. No.
But like in the relationships I have had, it's definitely like made maintaining those relationships really, really difficult. Because it's like I think about the worst possible things.
Yeah.
And sometimes like I like know it can be exhausting for like a partner to kind of like help deal with that. It's like it's something that you like need help with, you know. Like, I do need constant reassurance and stuff like that, just because my brain is actively working against me. So, yeah.
Mental health's a bitch.
Yeah, it is.
But you knowing and acknowledging these, that's huge.
Yeah, and I spent a long time like working on these things and like figuring out ways to cope and like thinking through things more properly, so I'm not like as reactive. And
that's huge.
Yeah.
You know, lots of people don't do that.
Yeah, well, I like don't want to, because I've seen so many friendships and like stuff just be absolutely destroyed because of my own actions, because of things I've done, because my brain is working against me, and like I don't want that anymore. Like I want to maintain like really good, solid, healthy relationships with people, and I don't want to let my own brain ruin that for me. So
well, that's really self-aware, and I'm really proud of you for that, because
Thank you.
you could just like be like, no, fuck it, this is who I am.
yeah, no,
Because doing the work is the hard part, but like
Yeah.
once you start, like
Yeah.
you realize you do have some control
Yeah.
of some of these things.
and like we should all be striving to like do better for ourselves, do better for other people, you know. That's my firm belief, so that's what I'm doing. I'm always trying to be better so I can have a better quality of life and make the people around me happy. So
Because you're a good person.
I try to be sometimes.
So boiling back to advice, if someone, a new like teenager, was recently diagnosed with BPD, what would be a tip or a piece of advice you could give someone who's just facing this huge wall head on?
I think the biggest thing would just be like, give yourself time. Don't like go head first into a lot of things. Like, don't act on your first instinct, because your first instinct is wrong most of the time. Yeah. Just take your time, think through things, like find support, and like just communicate well with the people around you. Tell people what you need and like how your brain is working, and like give them a better understanding of how you work, so that they can understand you better and help you better.
So communicate.
Yeah. Be
open, honest, and vulnerable. Yeah. That's good advice. Yeah. That's good advice, especially someone as young as you.
Hey man, I've had quite the 25 years of life.
Well, age isn't indicative of how much trauma you've experienced, but you're very wise, because I've talked to 35, 40-year-old people who have same issues as you, and they are not addressing it how you are, and it's off-putting.
Yeah.
Yeah, the victim mentality, that complex where you're like, everything's happening to me. I have no control.
Yeah, but it's like there are things you control and can make better for yourself.
Right.
And like, I think there's just like a rock bottom you get to too, where it's just like, I have to make it better for myself. Mm-hmm. And they just need to hit that rock bottom and figure it out. Hey,
fucking man, if I didn't hit rock bottom, I wouldn't be sitting here talking with you today.
Sometimes you have to hit rock bottom to get yourself back up to the top. So.
And most of the times when it comes to rock bottom, people think of addiction. They're like, you're at rock bottom, not mental health, but mental health is almost an addiction too.
Yeah, it's all just brain stuff. Addiction's just brain stuff too.
It is, yeah. Addiction's a mental illness. I completely believe that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Have you ever struggled with any substance abuse at all?
Perhaps.
I have.
Perhaps.
I've definitely have.
A lot.
I've met some amazing people who have as well.
Yes, it just happens, you know. Everything's fine one day, and next thing you know, you're addicted to cocaine. Happens to the best of us.
So at what age did chemicals come into play?
I think I like first smoked weed when I was like 15, and probably like drank for the first time around then too. But it didn't get too crazy probably until about my like junior year of high school. It was like 16. I started doing a lot more stuff, taking pills, doing coke, shit like that.
Do you think did something happen in your life, or was it not good at home, or?
Definitely could have had a better childhood. Yeah. I had a shitty alcoholic dad, and that just kind of fucked up most of my childhood. I had a really like difficult relationship with my mother, because I think we just didn't understand each other well, and we didn't know how to like talk to each other, so like our relationship was strained there. My dad ended up dying when I was 16. So just a lot of shit.
That's a tough age to lose a fucking parent.
Yeah. Granted, it was hard, I think, at the time. But now that I think back on it, I'm like, dang, I didn't lose a whole lot just because he wasn't that much of a father to me. Because I just like lost him to alcoholism pretty much completely, which is crazy enough. One of the things I haven't had a problem with is alcohol.
Hey, it's never too late. Okay,
it's never too late
to
be an alcoholic.
It's never too late to be an alcoholic.
That's the thing I was like always super cautious about, because I saw my dad be an alcoholic, and I was like, I don't want to be that person. But then I got addicted to other things, and it's like, well, fuck. It happens. Well,
I mean, I don't want to say it's a good thing your dad was an alcoholic then, you know, but it made it so you weren't.
Yes.
Right? So
I was never an alcoholic, but I was addicted to cocaine.
Well, cocaine's a hell of a drug.
It's a great fucking
if you've never
drug.
Tried it out there, don't. But
please don't. You're going to have a great time.
Please don't do cocaine. It's the most expensive, and it will dilapidate your life.
Yes. And the crazy thing about coke is you like when you are addicted to it, you don't think you're addicted to it.
No.
You're like, this is just
I'm fine.
Fun.
Now I'm normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like evil. It's an evil drug.
I think alcohol is the same way. I think it has that similar effect where it's like when you're addicted to alcohol, you're like, no, I'm fine. I just need 3 drinks before I say anything.
I'm just like, I'm going to sit here and do half a gram by myself in my car and chain smoke and play Sudoku.
But this is who I am.
This is my hobby, you know?
And especially cocaine, if you have ADHD or struggle with any attention issues,
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Like my first guest, I don't know if you listened to Tom's episode when
Oh,
he
I
talked
did.
about meth, and he was like, and I did meth for the first time and I didn't want to, but my ADHD was like, this is fucking great.
This is lit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Coke was
not
great.
struggling with anything currently.
No.
Good.
I've been
Other than nicotine.
Yeah, that's different.
Nicotine and caffeine. Monsters and geek bars.
No more caffeine. I cut it out completely.
Your morning monster?
Yeah.
Wow.
I haven't.
Yo, that's the hardest one. Sugar and caffeine?
Yeah, I mean sugar's still out there, but
Right,
but caffeine, yeah, I'm done.
fuck yeah.
I just cold turkeyed it. I was just like, well, because I was like going through a phase of really, really bad hypochondria and like really bad anxiety. Like
Especially with your medical stuff going on.
that's what led to me finding out actually about my medical stuff was I was experiencing hypochondria and then found out something was wrong with me.
Oh no.
But it wasn't what I thought was wrong with me.
Right.
Yeah, so I got to a point I was just like having like a nervous breakdown and like stayed at my parents' house for like a week because I was just like, God, I'm so anxious. But then
Yeah.
I cut out caffeine because I was just not helping the anxiety.
Yeah. Well, good for you.
Yeah, and I like found out about my kidney stuff, and I was like, it's probably good to cut this out anyway. Yeah.
People like we're a really over caffeinated society.
Yes.
Like it's become the social norm.
Yeah.
Like Starbies, you know, like
Yeah.
people are like our recommended daily intake is 400 milligrams.
And people are going way
And
past
they're
that.
quadrupled past
Yeah.
that. And then they're like, I have anxiety and I don't know why.
So I think I know why you do.
I think I know why. But you were self-aware enough to like realize the connection. and-
Sometimes I become self-aware and I could just stop doing something. That's why I've been cocaine too. I didn't go like rehab or anything. I just stopped one day.
yeah.
I was just like, this is kind of fucking up my life.
I'm going to stop.
I'm gonna stop. And then I stopped.
Not everyone has to go to rehab. It's a really
No.
controversial thing that I've told people like, hey, if you realize there's a problem and you can just take it in and own it, you can save yourself $30,000
Yep.
by just fucking cold
Yep.
turkeying, biting your lip,
Yep.
self-aware.
Look at me, 3 years sober.
3 years? Fuck yeah. Let's go.
I think
Congratulations.
I've done it like once in the past 3 years, but
Sure. It's not a problem anymore
no,
though. Yeah.
no, it was a one-time thing.
Well, thank you so much for being so
Yeah.
open and vulnerable
Hey,
about
man.
that. I know how
Yeah.
hard it can be. There's a lot of shame that comes with addiction and
Yeah.
mental illness, and some people don't want to talk about it.
I think I've just like accepted it all. You know,
Yeah.
it's just a part of who I've been. And
Acceptance is huge.
Yeah.
It's the
And-
fear and shame that'll kill you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I think I've like turned myself around and have become a better person, and I can like own up to who I've been in the past, and that's made it part of my like personal growth journey. You know, like I can be a better person because I have owned up to these things and worked
Totally.
through them. So
It's very mature of you.
thank you.
Yeah, you're doing great. You're
Thank
killing
you.
it. All right, we're done with the hard topics now. We'll get into some more fun ones. What would be your dream job?
Not working. I don't dream
Is
of
that a
labor.
job? Where do you apply for that?
I don't dream of labor. If I had to
If
work.
you had to work, what would be your dream job?
That's a good question. I mean, I think like working in video games would still just be like super sick. Maybe like voice acting. I think voice acting could be really fun. Maybe my D&D podcast will pop up and I can just play D&D for the rest of my life.
Well,
and
if I
make
get a
money
link,
that way.
I'll plug it. You just let me know. Send it over. We'll throw it
You
on this
guys should
episode.
all watch
You guys
my-
should check out this podcast that doesn't exist anywhere.
It doesn't exist yet, but it will eventually. Valor Bound, check us out. We play D&D. If I could do that forever,
Yeah?
I'd be pretty content.
Just play games for life?
Yeah, dude.
Fuck
if I
yeah.
could just be like fucking like Dimension 20 or Critical Role, just all I do is make D&D
I know,
content,
yeah.
dude, I'd be living my best
It
life.
seems like a real good time, for sure.
Oh yeah. It's one of my greatest joys in life.
Has there been any one particular book, movie, or anything that has like influenced your life dramatically, or it was so impactful?
Well, I think like my favorite piece of media of all time is the movie Fantastic Mr. Fox.
I know, which is a claymation or stop motion animated by Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't. I think driven a lot of like interests of like getting more into like watching movies and stuff like that, and like learning about like what goes on behind the scenes of movies, and just like further pushed me into consuming all different sorts of media.
So what was the most impactful part about that? Was it the storyline? Was it the character? Was it?
I think it was like everything. Like the characters were all super well done, and the art of it is just beautiful, and the story is a lot of fun too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
On that similar note, if a movie was made about your life, who would you want to play Storm?
I don't fucking know.
Come on, you gotta. Nah, I know.
I don't know. See, I just like don't know who actors are anymore. Like every time I have to think about it, I'm like, I don't know who anybody is.
It could be anyone.
Every person immediately leaves my brain. Maybe like, just on terms of like appearance, like Barbie Ferreira or someone like that.
Barbie Ferreira?
Yeah, she was
Not
in
familiar.
fucking Euphoria.
Okay. Which character did you play?
I don't remember that.
Okay, Barbie Ferreira. I have no clue either.
Hold on, I'm pulling up a photo. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. She was the trans girlfriend, right?
No,
Oh, wait.
that's Hunter Schafer.
Okay. No. Not Hunter Schafer. Oh, shit. I'm thinking of a different series. Baby Reindeer. Is that the...
Oh, I don't know if she's in Baby Reindeer.
I might be completely mistaken.
I haven't seen
Okay.
Baby Reindeer either.
All
It does not look like she was in Baby Reindeer though.
All right.
But yeah, just in terms of like appearance, yeah, she could do it.
All right.
She could do it.
So I know that you've been kind of involved in some social advocacy and stuff from time to times I've seen with you helping with relief and support during the George Floyd stuff that happened here in 2020.
Allegedly.
But on that topic, I won't go too deep in that. What do you think currently is the most pressing social issue in the entire world?
Ooh.
And how do you think collectively would be the best way for society to go about addressing it?
That's hard because there are so many pressing issues that affect different parts of the world very differently and are very huge in very different places. I like personally think one of the biggest things that has been going on is the genocide in Palestine. Granted, that's coming to a little bit more of a standstill, but like there's still a lot of work that needs to be done there, and like work on like not equating the Jewish identity with Israel and stuff like that, and like letting people indigenous to a land live there. And I think we need to stop like funding wars and putting all of our money into militaries when it could be going towards helping our countries. Like all of the funding that we put into our military here in the US could be used for so many other things. But we're just all continuously funding the military.
Well, I mean, we can't really do much. So what do you think is one thing in everyone's day-to-day life that they could do, one simple action to try and help support or stand in solidarity with that?
I think just raise awareness.
Awareness.
Just take time, talk to one person, tell them about things that are going on.
Totally.
Just spread awareness of things, especially we're in this weird time of like kind of censorship stuff going on. It's important to let people know what's going on.
That's a good one. I agree.
Yeah.
Awareness is huge of any issue, because the Nazis tried to make people not believe
Yeah.
it was even happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They relied on complacency to get away with what they
Exactly.
did. And so we just need to not be complacent and
Yeah. Even if people say you're annoying or call you.
I don't give a fuck, man. I care about the world. I don't want people to fucking die.
So what do you think has been your biggest regret in life so far, if you have any?
Maybe doing drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'd argue that you wouldn't be as successful and where you are if you hadn't.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think I just like lost years of my life where I could have been
totally.
a bit more productive and done more with myself that I just wasn't because I was
Doing drugs.
too busy.
Hey man, drugs are
doing
fun.
drugs.
Don't do drugs because
Don't do
drugs are
drugs.
great
They're
and you'll just
too
want to do
much
more.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know, could have been somewhere better sooner if I didn't also have to deal with all of that.
Yeah.
So It's probably my greatest regret.
I personally think it's made you a better person. So
Thank you.
Sucks that you had to go through it, but
Yeah. It just definitely didn't help with like my interpersonal relationships and stuff like
for sure.
that.
Oh my God, yeah.
I also like just was hanging out with bad people and
it's amazing what we'll do for a little community, a little social connection.
yeah.
But so on the flip end of that, what has been your biggest achievement? What are you most proud of in your life so far?
I'm really like just proud of like where I'm at now and like how I have this like super great steady job that I really like, and I have like built up a really good support system around me, and I just like am focusing on doing the things I love. I think that's my greatest achievement, is just
living your life just happily.
Yeah, just making myself happy and not like wallowing.
It's actually fucking beautiful. My biggest achievement is making myself happy. I want that on a shirt.
Hell yeah.
All right, Storm. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, of course.
And sharing your story a little bit with people. Hopefully it can resonate with some people and help someone who may be going through something or went through something similar to you. So I only have one question to wrap up this podcast. And if you listen to a couple episodes, you might know which one it is. Would you kick a puppy as hard as you fucking could, knowing full well that puppy's probably going to die, to save 100 people's lives?
I'm going to take your question, ask you a question. Did you know that in the filming of Snow Buddies, 5 dogs died?
Okay, yeah, no, I didn't, and that's terrible. Thank you for fucking up. I'm gonna be crying when I go to bed thinking about that.
I was like, I know this question's coming. I have the perfect answer for it.
It's not an answer. It's not an answer. Would you or want you?
I would kick the puppy.
You'd kick the fucking puppy,
and then I would cry for like a month afterwards.
So terrible.
I'd be like, I'd save 100 people.
No, you're not saving them. You're just not allowing them to die. There's a difference.
That's saving them in a way.
Okay, there's no wrong answers when it comes to ethics. There's no wrong answers.
I could be Disney and let 5 dogs die. 30 more dogs got sick.
That's very true. Disney did really capitalize on our emotions when it came to animal death. All right, you heard it here. You heard it here first. Storm would kick the puppy.
Hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do. And I would be very upset with myself. Do not worry. I ran over a bunny once and just sobbed for like hours.
But you didn't have to kick the puppy. It's not, I gotta do what I gotta do.
Then like 100 people would die.
If you did nothing, they're gonna die.
But I'm responsible.
You're not responsible. You did nothing.
No, that's complacency. That's complacency.
All right, well, this has been great, Storm. Last question. Can I get you on the wall of legends back
absolutely.
here? Great. Fuck yeah, let's go. All right. So pose pretty for me. Great. Thank you so much, Storm. That was amazing. I love you. I'll see you at work on Monday.
Yeah.